A warm welcome to everyone. I, Mrs. Namrata Kaule Shinde, Chief Coordinator of Faculty of Technology, and it's great honor for me to inaugurate this special event today and be present here with all the curious minds to unfold and unveil the mystery of generative AI. We are at Research in IT 2024, an initiative by the Department of Information Technology and Computer Science of Chikitsak Samuhat Sir Sitaram and Lady Shantabai Patkar College of Arts and Science and VP Varde College of Commerce and Economics. Thank you very much to all the viewers who are watching us live from across the globe. And a huge round of applause to all the hands working behind to bring this event live. Okay, so I would first like to give you a brief introduction about our college. चिकित्सक समूहात सर सीताराम and Lady Shantabai Patkar College of Arts and Science and VP Varde College of Commerce and Economics was established in year 1964 and it is one of the prestigious college in western suburbs of Mumbai, India. We are an autonomous college affiliated to University of Mumbai. We have been recredited A plus grade by NAC third cycle with institutional score of 3.53 in year 2019. College holds various aided and self-financed courses at both undergraduate and postgraduate levels, including both diploma and certification courses. We also have received an approval to start with PhD. Our college is ISO 9001 and 2015 certified and DBT Star Scheme awardee. We are also an achiever of India's Education Excellence Award 2018 from Berkshire Media, USA. In April 2020, as per Education World India College Ranking for 2021, we hold 45th All India rank and 10th rank in the state of Maharashtra. Let me welcome our Honorable Chief Education Officer, Dr. Mala Kharkar, and Honorable Principal Madam, Dr. Pratibha Gayakwad, for today's event. Let me also welcome all the coordinators, co-coordinators, and faculty members present today. So let's now get to the event. We have two phases running for this event today. So I would like to introduce you all to our speaker of phase 1 today, Dr. Maipradit Anand. Dr. Arnan is currently working as a lecturer of machine learning and web mining in RMUTT University, Thailand. Dr. Arnan has completed PhD and MS in Information Science from NIST. He is also an experienced software developer and has a good knowledge of machine learning and IoT. We are very delighted to have you, sir, on board it with us. Dr. Arnan, you may now please begin with the session. Sir?
Okay, sure. Thank you for your introduction. So today, I will talk about the generative AI for the researchers in the subtopic of the advancing research with the generative AI tools, technique, and trends. Okay, so let me stop my camera so you can focus on the slide. Okay, so as you know, the AI plays a big role in every industry these days. So don't wait to use it as an assistant. So it can help boost efficiency and save time in various parts of your work, right? So and today we will talk about generative AI that can create the new content. So it beyond the traditional AI. Okay, so let me introduce myself just a little bit. So I'm Anand Maivaradis. So I got the software engineering in the bachelor degree and also the master and doctoral. I also got the engineering also in the information science from the Japan. Okay, so my thesis is about the intelligent traffic system and some of reinforcement learning, deep learning. So yeah, I used to use some machine learning AI. So it's trend nowadays, right? So as they mentioned before, I'm the lecturer in the IMUTT Thailand. So I teach in the machine learning AI or something like this. Okay, so let's move to the overview topic. Right. So today I will talk about the introduction of the generative AI, how we using the prompt, working with the Gen AI, generative AI. Maybe not the workshop, right? Because today I'm the speaker, not doing the workshop, but I will show you how the AI tools that work in the research areas, and then we have to use the generative AI ethically, right? So first, let me tell you what is AI. So AI, or the artificial intelligence, is a computer system that is designed and programmed to perform tasks similar to those done by the human. So most of you will heard about the machine learning, right? Machine learning, AI. So we have a data, we train the model, we test the model, then it will get the output that we want. So but nowadays, generative AI is not kind of that at all. So let me compare it about the uh, previous AI and the Gen AI. Let me call it the Gen AI, right? Okay, so first one, in the training data to the neural network. So in the previous AI, data you train on the specialized database for the specific purpose. But in the Gen AI, data you train on the large and generalized database. The next step, the neural network to the output. Previous AI, the model generates statistic prediction based on the training data. But for the GenAI, the model will create the new content from the existing training data in multiple modalities. The third one, the output to the human interface. So from the previous AI, user must command by specific code or syntax based on the model function, right? When you create some weather prediction, so you have to import the Excel, do the prediction, and you get the CSV file or something, right? But in the Gen AI, user can command by natural language and a variety of the input. So I will tell you in the next slide, right? So how can we command the Gen AI, right? Using the prompt or something like that, right? For the fourth one, the application. So previously we use so many applications like statistic prediction and interference, text classification, facial and image recognition. But what about the Gen AI? So it can be answer to the complex question or the request. We can do the novel content. We can let them do the coding for us, right? Okay, so let me summarize. Let me summarize. For the traditional AI, such as the weather prediction, vehicle plate detection, right? So that is a previous AI. So we have to use specific data to get the specific output. But what about the Gen AI, such as the text generation? You will know about the ChatGPT, the Gemini, right? The Claude. So that you use it in daily life actually. So I using it to generate some exercise for the student. The student use it to do some research to answer the professor or something, right? So the next one, the image creation. So you may know the DALL-E, the Midjourney, the Stable Diffusion. The next one is the code generation. the copilot, right? And then it have a lot of kind of generative AI, right? Video generation, the data augmentation for the training AI model, right? So in the machine learning, GenAI is used to create synthetic data to train other AI model, right? So you see the a lot of advantage of the GenAI nowadays, right? So let me move to the next slide. That what we know, what we need to know to do some GenAI, right? So the technology is that related to the GenAI. So you can see in the image, right? So they have the artificial intelligence, the machine learning, the deep learning. So but it needs to combine with the computer vision and the natural language processing, or we call it the NLP, right? Okay, so the GenAI, right? So now we will talk about the LLM. LLM is mean the large language model. So maybe you have a question. Does the Gen AI is the same as the LLM? The answer is not. The LLM is not equal to the Gen AI. The LLM is just a subset of the Gen AI, right? So let me brief definition of the Gen AI. Gen AI is a broad term encompassing any AI system that generate the new content. But the LLM are a specific type of generative AI focused on the generating and understanding the natural language. So it means that LLM is just a subset of the Gen AI. Okay, so from the feature, you can see they have like a three phases. So let me explain it. So LLM is learned from more focused input at each stage of the training processes. The first phase of this learning is pre-training, where the LLM can be trained on a mix of unlabeled data and proprietary data without any human supervision. So in the second phase is the fine-tuning, where narrow data set and human feedback are introduced as input to the base model. And the fine-tuned model can then enter an additional phase, where human with specialized knowledge implement prompting techniques that can transform the LLM into a model that is augmented to perform specialized tasks. Okay, so let me compare. Let me compare the AI model, the previous one, the M. Let me call the traditional machine learning model compared to the Gen AI model, or we call it foundation model. In the left hand side, you can see the traditional ML model in the training phase. Traditional ML model require labeled data for training. Multiple separate models are trained for different specific tasks. And the next one is the deployment. After training, these models are deployed individually for specific tasks like text generation, summarization, information extraction, question and answer, or chatbot, right? And the next one for the task specific, each model is specialized, meaning that one model is trained and deployed for each specific task. Okay, so let's move to the right one, the foundation model, right? In the pre-train pre-training phase, so foundation model are pre-trained using large amount of the unlabeled data. This training allows them to understand and learn from a wide range information, right? The next one, the next phase is adaptation. Once pre-trained, the foundation model can be adapted or fine-tuned to perform various tasks such as text generation, summarization, information, and so on and so forth. Okay, so for the versatility, unlike the traditional ML model, a single foundation model can handle multiple tasks, reducing the need to train a separate model for each task. Okay, so let me summarize for you like a key difference. So the first one is data requirement. So traditional ML model require labeled data, while the foundation model can start with unlabeled data. And in the training, for the training, traditional ML model approach involve training multiple models for different tasks. In contrast, foundation model rely on a single pre-trained model that can be adapted for various applications. The last one, the flexibility and scalability. So the foundation model offers greater flexibility and scalability, allowing them to be fine-tuned for different tasks without needing the separate model for each one. So you can see that you make only one foundation model. It will handle all what you need. But for the traditional ML model, you need to create more and more and more model to serve your tasks, right? So this is what Gen AI can do, or LLM can do, right? The next one, generative AI. It will generate near authentic text, image, video, and audios. So it will start with a prompt that take image, text, or anything that AI can process. And then several AI algorithms are deployed on the input. And then AI will return the new content in response to the prompt. Content can be essay, solution to the problem, programming code, music score, reality effect, painting, or anything else. Anything else. But but do you think the AI can be replacing the human? What you guys think? Can AI replace the human? Or AI is smarter than the human or not? Okay, let's see this one. Let's see this one. Right. So AI versus the human capabilities. So first of all, we let me explain this graph first. This graph showed exponential improvement in AI capabilities over the last 2 decades. Right. So how AI can catch up the human abilities. So first of all, in around the 2000, we set the benchmark of human to zero, right? So this one is the how smart for the human, right? So we start in around the maybe around the 2000. So about the handwriting recognition, so the benchmark of the AI will start to the minus of 100. You can see that the handwriting recognition is improved. The speed recognition, the image recognition, listening comprehension, language understanding. Now in 2020, AI system perform better than the human who did the test. So what this mean? Now we are in 2024, right? So 4 year from now. So now the AI is smarter than the human already. So but now we plus 4 more years. But what about 20, 30 more years? Do the human need to do the job, or just the AI can replace the human, right? So this is what AI can do, the AI capabilities, right? So please remember this. So we will move to the next one, and we need to know that now AI may be smarter than the human, right? Yes, from the comment, right? AI is also dangerous for human. Yes, so that means we don't use the AI to replacing the human, but we need to use the AI as an assistant. So that may be more safer, right? Okay. So if you have any question or any comment, you can type it. So I can see and answer you. Okay. Okay. So let move to the popular AI model, right? LLM or anything. The first one, I think you all of you may know about the ChatGPT, right? So it changed the world, absolutely changed the world, right? So ChatGPT is from the OpenAI. Now we have the Gemini, me Claude from the Microsoft, or the Copilot. Okay, so let's see this one. the AI is ranked by the IQ. So now the Core 3, they, it got like a 101 IQ score, like a ChatGPT 2, Core 2, Copilot Gemini. So this one is a AI IQ, right? So 100 is high. It's really high for the computer, right? So let me compare it. Let me compare it here. Let me compare it here. So LLM model and the O-NET exam. The O-NET exam is the exam for the high school. It's like a grade 12 in Thailand. So if you use the code 3.5 here to do some O-NET test, so it will get like a 72%. It's higher than the random guess, right? So for the random guess, we have a four choice. So if we guess, it should be like a 25%, or maybe if it's two choice, so it's 50%. So, anyways, LLM can get 72%, right? So it means that AI is smarter than the random guesser, right? But but you can see in this one how close of an AI to the human. What we can do? What we can do? We can see, right? We can see. So AI have computer vision. We can hear. So AI have speech recognition, voice recognition. We can speak. So AI have speech synthesis, text to speech, right? We can move. So AI is has robot, right? Smart robot, smart farmer, smart machine, or anything. We can think logically. Yes, AI can do also, such as the prediction, decision, recommendation. The next one, understand the language. So now I know Thai, English, Japanese, right? But now LLM can know almost all language in the world, right? Because you can type anything into ChatGPT and they can answer. That means they know the language, right? Such as the natural language processing, LLM. So I think most of you will know like two or three languages, but AI know more than that. Right. The next one, create something new. So in the previous traditional ML model, maybe they cannot create something new. They can do only we command, right? So we do the weather prediction. So they can only get the Excel, do something, do calculation, and then predict. But now AI can create something new. That is Gen AI, LLM, text to image, image to text, image to image, image to video, or anything else, right? So, but you still, if you think the AI is not replace the human yet because of what? They don't have emotion, they don't have feeling, the morality, right? That's why the AI cannot replace the human yet. I mean yet, right? So the first one, we today AI is narrow AI. It is AI that is good at a specific area, such as the ChatGPT, Bing, Runway, right? So it's only good in the specific area, right? So now we are here. We pass the artificial neural intelligence a bit, right? So next up, in the next few years, I think is uh, artificial general intelligence, or we call the general AI. So which is AI that can do everything. I mean everything, right? And for the future, for the future, we will see the super AI or the artificial super intelligence. It is an AI that has feeling, emotion, and know what human want, like predict the emotion. So So what do you think if the artificial super intelligence came out? Do you think human is still need a human in the job, in the industry, in any field, right? So this is quite hard to 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 decision to make a decision, right? Okay, if the AI has a emotion, the feeling, morality, it's almost like the human. But I think the human views have something that AI still cannot do, right? But most of the job didn't require that thing, right? Okay, let's see the impact of an AI on the different type of job, right? So the first one in the medical terms. So administrative and diagnostic support, but not replacing the doctor, right? Just give the advice, give the suggestion for the raw terms. The automate routine tasks, professional must adapt to the AI. The next one is art. Push us to be more creative, create the new art with the AI. For the retail, automatically recommend product and service to individual focus on creativity. And then the film industry to the potential for low quality copycat film. For the software development, increase the productivity, reduce the barriers, focus on important tasks. And the next one, education, drive university, personalized and lifelong learning. And then the last one is agriculture, help with decision making, automate tasks, precision farming, but not replace the farmer yet. I mean yet, right? So let me talk about the education with the LLM or the ChatGPT. So nowadays everyone uses the ChatGPT, right? The teacher, the lecturer use the ChatGPT to create some exercise, to create some activity in the class, right? So the student also use the ChatGPT to answer some question that they don't know. But we cannot. I think we cannot. How can I say? We need to we need to allow. Uh, let me example. So in my class, I am around the student to use the ChatGPT, but what I need to do is to do the oral examination. It means that if I ask them to do the calculation in the Python, so they will like ask the ChatGPT, right? Please write the calculator in the Python for me. So yeah, they give them the whole code of the calculator in the Python. So I have to do some oral examination to ask, do you really understand what the ChatGPT given you, right? So we have to use to the ChatGPT or use to the GenAI nowadays. So we need to adapt our classroom to let them come in our classroom and actually the student enjoy with the ChatGPT. So it's easy to like answer the question, to do some tasks, to do some exercise, right? This have all have the, how can I say, advantage and disadvantage, but it's the job of you to how can I say, to manage it, to manage that. All right. So let's see how people using the Gen AI. Right. So first one, technical assistant and troubleshooting, and then the content creation and editing, personal and professional support, learning and education, creativity and recreation, research analysis and decision making. Right. So this kind of how people use the AI. Right. Okay. So we talk a lot of the advantage of the Gen AI, but now the limitation of the Gen AI. First one, understanding the context. The technology mispredict, right? Because we do not specify the instruction clearly, so the Gen AI cannot answer question directly. right? AI hallucination, the AI learn from incorrect data, so and thus give the incorrect answer. Next one, bias and the fairness. The AI learn from biased data, which is created by the human, right? At first, after ChatGPT, so they cannot answer clearly because the feedback from the human is not that good, right? So, but nowadays, like better, a lot better. The last one, the creativity. So they have like the imagination beyond the reality. Let me show you this one. Let me show you this one. You can see this, right? You can see this picture, right? So when the GenAI didn't know about the grill pork in Thai we call it หมูกระทะ here หมูกระทะ หมู is mean pig or pork and กระทะ is mean pan, right? So when we let the mid journey to do like a หมูกระทะ, right, the grill pork, so we get this one, the pig and the pan. Right. So this one is like the Gen AI, the early of the ChatGPT. Okay, let me show you next. They still don't get it, right? So the next one you have a in Thai we call gung ten. So gung is mean shrimp, ten is mean dancing. So it's mean dancing shrimp. So this one is came out. The next one is fried shrimp garlic. The next one is snakehead fish with a Thai herb salad, right? So actually all of this is the food, right? Not but in this picture it's not a food at all, right? The next one, shrimp dumplings. In Thai we call ขนมจีบกุ้ง. ขนม is mean dessert or yes, ขนม is mean dessert. จีบ is mean when someone is first to someone, right? And กุ้ง is mean shrimp. So ขนมจีบกุ้ง so it mean like a dessert first with the shrimp, right? But actually it mean the shrimp dumpling. Okay, so but what if we consistent? Yes, we you mean in this one, right? In here, so if we give the AI the correct the good data, so we will good answer. So I will tell you in the next slide. Okay. Okay, so let me list you the limitation of the Gen AI. So first one, Gen AI answer are not guaranteed to be correct, but they are reliable to read. Right? Gen AI can answer maybe wrong or not updated because in the early of the ChatGPT is only updated to 2020, but now we are in 2022, 23, 24, right? So it may not up to date. Some Gen AI program do not know. In case of Thai, so they do not know Thai or not work well with Thai, so we need to how can I say, to use the English, right? So next one, the Gen AI can be called. We use the Gen AI twice and get a different answer. Now the Gen AI prevent answering question that should be not be answered, like such as the suicidalism, the assault, the violence, and illegal activities. Okay, so when the ChatGPT came out, I asked them to, can you write me the script that destroy the Windows OS? So they will tell us I am a LLM, so I cannot do that, right? But if we do the prompt of the educational purpose, so they will do it. So yeah, that is funny. Okay, the next one. The Gen AI can create reference both in reality and imaginary. So if you do some research and use the Gen AI to do the reference, so if you click the link from the AI that generated, the link is me 404 errors. Right. The next one, Gen AI is an AI that has bias because it's learned from the human feedback. Right. So let me suggest. So if you use the Gen AI to do some research or in the study, you have to cross check the data, right? Cross check the data. So now AI is only as good as the data. So AI and machine learning have the golden rules. Garbage in, garbage out. Want good result, feed it good data, right? So this one is like a golden rule of machine learning and AI. What if AI becomes self-aware? So now, now I think now the A as I said before, AI now is like a narrow AI, so it's not general AI yet. So if it like the become to like a super intelligence AI, right? So in this right, let me go back. Okay, I cannot remember which one. Okay, here. So now we are here. It's a narrow AI. So it's just good in the specific area, right? So they don't have self-aware, they don't have emotion, they don't have morality or anything yet, the feeling. But in general AI, which is I can do everything, but still don't have the emotion, the feeling. So they don't know the harm. They don't know the harmful to itself, right? So maybe they don't have the self-awareness yet. But in the future, if the it become the artificial super intelligence, so yes, maybe we cannot ask them to do everything we want. That is dangerous, a bit dangerous, right? Is it answer your question, right? So it's the same as when you ask your friend to do something, they will think that is it okay, is it dangerous, is it good for me, or, or is it illegal or not, right? Right? So if the AI become the super AI, you can think the super AI is a human, so they can think that if it harm to itself, it may be not doing the task, right? So that is quite. Is it threat to mankind if super AI is invented? That is the question because it's in the future. All right. So if it have emotion, have the feeling, so they may can. I'm not sure that it can threat the mankind or not, but it had feeling and emotion. So what do you think? Okay. So the next comment, if human know that AI is dangerous for human, then why human are still making AI? And what if AI can feel the emotion? The answer is, in my opinion, I think the human can see that they have more advantage than the disadvantage. They have the advantage more than the dangerous. So I think the human that invented the super AI, so they have some rules or some command that do not let the super AI do everything they want, right? So when I think when you do some let me show you. If I write some AI, right? I will create the rule that you cannot create the human. You cannot do something, right? But I don't know it's in the future, right? But now we are in only artificial general intelligence, so that is what human needs to think. If the artificial super intelligence came out, what we can handle, what we can do, right? Yeah, yes. But I heard that super AI is on the way of making. Yes, now they're making it, right? So we need to wait and see what happened when the artificial super intelligence is came out, right? I cannot guarantee the answer for you because I also wait for it also. Okay, let me move back to the slide, right? Okay, let me. Okay. So let me show you what can GenAI do. Okay, so first we can flip the perspective from the AI is an IA. It means that artificial intelligence is intelligent assistant. Use AI to be an assistant, not to control us, not to replace the human. We use AI technology to help us work nowadays in current. We use it as an assistant, right? So how many type of GenAI are there, right? So first one, the trick about the text, the draft email, write the script, compose the lyric, answer the question. About the image, we create the virtual image, create video, create 3D image. For in the coding area, right? If it can explain the code, it can write the whole program, it can figure the error, it can do create the semantic voice, find the research, summarize the research, create the presentation. So as you can see, they can do a lot of things. So we can use the GenAI application to help us work, right? So but AI is capable of performing a wide range of tasks, right? But how do we get it to do exactly what we want? Unlike the traditional AI, right, where we need to use a command line to import the data and wait for it, get the CSV result. In the Gen AI, allow us to interact more easily. The key is using the prompt. The prompt is like just a natural language that telling the AI what you want it to do, right? So the next one is the prompt engineering, right? So a prompt is a direct input or instruction given to an AI model to guide its response or generate content. In the context of Gen AI, a prompt can be a question, a statement, or a specific task description that the AI use as a starting point to produce and the output, right? So the AI is the bridge between the human and the AI. Okay, so let's see the comment, right? Super general AI, yes. So we know that AI is far intelligent than humans, so AI can be able to solve many unsolved theory. Yes, that's true. AI can actually AI smarter than the human already. Already. Okay. Let's see the pain point of Gen AI users. The first one, the problem is unclear to the point of not knowing what to ask, right? The next one is the question is unclear, not specific, so the answer is broad and principle. The third one, choosing the wrong prompt or command set, not knowing which prompt to use. Okay, so is that this one is a simple prompt for beginner. So okay, the comment is just here. Okay. So this one is a some simple prompt for the beginners. First one we call the zero shot. We ask the question, we get the answer. The next one is called a few shot. So we do the ask the question, we get the answer, we ask another question in like a deeper or in the deep detail, right? So we will get more specific answer. And it also has other techniques include the chain of thought, the inflection pumping, role pumping. I use the role pumping a lot. Like as a specialist, I would like to know something dot dot dot. As a programmer, can you solve me dot dot dot? Okay. This one. What do you want to do? Just use the verb. Just use the verb, right? The the upper one is commonly used zero shot, right? Write me some program, write me a Python code, suggest me the movie, please brainstorm in topic of write me a code or debug a code, right? In the lower one, the top ChatGPT keyword, explain. You can use the word explain in everything. Explain me what GenAI can do. Explain me the mathematics theory. Please analyze the data. Can you translate Thai in English, Thai to English, English to Thai? Can you create me a poem? Can you create me a program? Can you list me the related topic of the research? Right. Summarize something. Right. For the brainstorming and finding interested point, we can list. We put the number. List 5 keyword idea about the GenAI. List 5 article title with the AI. Summarizing paper or writing from keyword given. Brief summary of the topic. Write the topic containing right. So you can see that the GenAI can do a lot. Editing the writing, creating a writing framework, help create a questionnaire, help to write code. So okay, so we have a question: how to keep our intellectual uh, property skill through the Gen AI, right? So now when we use the Gen, let me give you an example. When we use ChatGPT, Gemini, or Claude, they have a option. The option that do you allow to let the LLM keep your question or keep your feedback or keep your answer or not, right? Okay, sure. I will share my slide in the end of this session. Okay, so I will give you the slide. Okay, so what do you mean a zero shot? Ah, yeah, the zero shot is just like this. The zero shot. Commonly use the zero shot. So just ask them to do something and they answer just that. So it's called zero shot. But when we do some research, right, we most use the instruction pumping or chain of thought. How much percent the quality of response is increased by using top keyword or a better prompt? uh am I don't have like a exactly number, but if you use the good prompt. Okay, so in my class, in the AI class, I let my student to use AI, use the ChatGPT to create the scientific calculator without coding any single line, only using the ChatGPT and copy the code from the ChatGPT and run it. So I have like a 30 student in the in one room. Okay, so 30 student will get the answer, not the same, not the same, right? Not the same. So it means that 30 students use different prompt, which only one in 30 can get the correct answer, right? So if any AI student in this class, can you show me? Can you can you comment or anything? What you get from using the AI ChatGPT to do some scientific calculator? So some student get the scientific calculator, but the plus function is not working. The mod function is not working, right? Okay. So another question: AI to use for coding? Yes, just you can try. Just use the ChatGPT. Use the ChatGPT or Gemini. You can prompt the. Can you write me the calculator in Python? Can you write me the calculator in Java? Or can you write me the login web page in the HTML or anything? You will see the result. What you can get. Okay. For the coding method with ChatGPT or black box, in this case, I think we can use the ChatGPT in any 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 fields. but you need to use it ethically, right? In the research area, if you use a ChatGPT to generate some data, you need to how I say, you need to allow the editor to know that you use the GenAI or ChatGPT in this part, right? Okay. So yeah, you can type the question so I can answer you. Okay. So let me move next to the GenAI command ideas, right? So we use the RTO command, right? R is mean role, right? You are a research specialist. T is mean task. It's a task to be done. O is the output format. Is the output format, right? So let me combine RTO framework here to the prompt. So we can get you are a research specialist who has been assigned to research on dot dot dot, find the research topic from the Scopus database Q1 level in the last 3 years. Please provide detail in a table format including the author, research title, research method, and then summarize it. Something like this that you can get the good information, it's a good answer. If you don't know, if you don't know how to use what prompt that we need to use, right? We have the extension in the Chrome, right? We call it the prompt storm. So they have like the prompt that they will just suggest us what prompt we need to use, what prompt we need to combine it with other prompt, right? So if we use this one, we don't need to think a lot of prompt. So they have like a pre-prompt already. Okay. Okay. So the process of using prompt to get a good result, right? The first one, you need to define the problem or the question clearly. The next one, use the appropriate set of the commands. And the last one, make the context more specific. Ask for the information that need a query answer. Okay, so maybe the comment maybe is delay like a 30 seconds. So please wait for me to answer you. Okay. Okay, the next one. Working with the Gen AI. AI can help us writing the code. AI can help us write the email, do some paper content into the text, take the note, record the meeting, analyze and create the report, make a slide, summarize the document, and then explain the meaning of anything. Right. Okay, for the research area. So today I will focus on the research area, right? So AI for the literature review. AI can help to check the data trend triangulation. AI and research assistant in various fields, right? So it can do some interview and questionnaire, diagram and mind map creation, web and YouTube content summary, research presentation, slide creation, book cover report creation. Okay, first AI tools. AI for literature reviews. The first one, AI is to build a research network. We call the lead map. So for the lead map, you will see your paper or your research network. You can see in this picture. This one is assume that is my paper. So I want to know that how many paper that related to my work, right? So we go to the lead map and create your first lead map and then enter the keyword or your research or your interest research. So your main one, the main one is in the black one. And then the white one is the related research or related paper. You can see in this sort, right? For the lightest one, right? The most right is the newest one, right? Here is 2023. So in the left one is what 1993, right? So the upper one is the citation count. So it means that this one is the most citation, have the most citation, and the bigger one is mean have the reference count. Okay, so now you can use the lead map to do some literature review if it don't have any related paper or related research. It means that your keyword or your interest might be new or no one have done it before, right? Or you see a lot of paper here, it means that your paper or your research is quite popular. So you can compare it to other research like advantage, disadvantage, the limitation. Okay, you can use the lead map to help you do some literature reviews. The next one, the AI to measure the consensus level. Okay, use the consensus here. Here is the link. You can try it later, right? You the consensus level is when you ask something, right? Let me assume. Do you think AI can replace the human in the future? So the consensus answer it means yes, possibly, or maybe no, right? You can use it to check the consensus level here. The next one, the AI that synthesis the table, we call it size space. Size space. We will select the literature reviews, enter the keyword to search for the research that interests. Right here in this picture, we have a paper here. We have a 10 paper out of here, right? And here is a column. It have a lot of column that we can put it in here, right? Here is the insight, conclusion, limitation, advantage, disadvantage, the summary, the abstract, the discussion. So you can put it here. Oh, here without reading any single word in the paper, right? But I didn't mean that you use these tools and you don't need to read anything, right? This one is just scope scope the scope the area, scope the number of paper that you need to find, that you need to read, right? From 100 paper to 10 paper. But in this 10 paper you still need to read directly by yourself, right? Because from what I say in the early slide, right, Gen AI not guarantee give us the correct answer. It means that you need to cross check. That's why we call it IA, right? Intelligent assistant. Only the assistant, not replacing the researcher, right? The next one, the AI for reading academic article. So we have a keyword, size space, queries. Right? In this case, we will go through the size space, right? You can just upload the PDF file here, and then you can just ask, use prompt to ask, right? So this one is potential of ChatGPT in academic research, exploring innovative thinking skill. You can just ask, please generate me the summary of this paper. What is the result of the paper? Find the related paper. Do the literature survey of these papers. Summarize introduction of these papers. Write me some abstract. You can just ask. You don't need to read the whole paper anymore, right? Just ask it. Okay. Okay. The next one. We use the AI to summarize the interview. You can use Claude, Gemini, or ChatGPT. You upload the MP4 file, the WAV file, or anything, right? You just upload and enter the prompt. What are the risks of the business? Analyze the problem of this business, or anything. The next one, the AI tools that explaining the meaning of the statistical data. You can still use Claude also. Read the statistic and explain the meaning, right? But you can see that they have a lot of advantage, right? But what about the limitation of using AI to analyze the quantitative data, right? For the advantage of using AI in the data analysis is convenience and accuracy. AI can analyze and explain result very well, allowing us to use the result effectively in research or report. Low cost compared to other data analysis program with high price. AI is considered very cheap, making it a good choice for those who have a tight budget, right? Because actually AI have like a free version and the premium version. The premium version will use a larger model, so it may good result, better result, right? But for the limitation, the comparison of the result, the AI used is GenAI, right? Which means that the result may be regenerated. Therefore, the result obtained from AI should be compared with those obtained from key data analysis programs such as the SPSS for accuracy and reliability. And about the academic recognition, AI is currently not widely accepted in academic field, right? So for the research publication, primary data analysis program should be used for referencing. Let me show you in the latest slide, right? They have some rule for the IEEE for the Elsevier that use what we need to do when we use Gen AI in our paper, right? The next one, data aggregation, quantitative data analysis technique that combine with the qualitative data, so we can still use Core AI analyze the statistical data and interview data to see if there are any similarity and present them in table. So we just use the prompt. Okay, we have a question here. There will be a time when AI will not have any limitation. I think it's maybe in the super AI, the limitation is maybe least or have like a, or how can I say, the more AI, the more smarter the AI, it will have least limitation, right? Actually, it depends on the technology, right? So nowadays the current technology is not still that good, right? So we get the let assume current technology get the ChatGPT number 4, right? In the next 10 years, ChatGPT it should be ChatGPT 10 or ChatGPT 20. So that means is the limitation is decreased for sure. Right. What is SPSS? SPSS is like the data analysis program. Okay, so you can search in the Google. You can search the SPSS data analysis program. So it's like a data analysis program that have a acceptance. We can acceptable data analysis program. Will AI replace human in the future? How can AI impact society? Yes, from I already answered this question, right? If the super AI is came out, it might replace the human. It for sure replace the human in the routines tasks, right? Routine tasks, right? So in the, like 20 years ago, they have some job that uh how can I say, you have a paper, right? If you have a job that read the paper, write it to Excel, right? Someone that transform the paper into the text, right? But now we have like a OCR, right? OCR or we can just use the camera, just take the picture and then gen the text to us. You see, right? Now that job is disappear because of the AI, right? So when the AI is smarter, so we need to we need to go deeper in our job, right? If we only do like a routine task, the AI will replacing that job for sure. That is for sure. Okay. Okay. So let move to the AI assisting in the research, right? In the interview and questionnaire, right? We have a prompt, create an open-ended questionnaire about five item. We create a questionnaire about the multiple choice, checkbox, the scale, the ranking. it is right or wrong about 10 items. Ask 5 more questions in the same way. This is quite the beginner prompt that you can use. Right? Okay, in case of you already have a questionnaire and want to adjust it, rewrite the following question into a form of dot dot dot. You can just use this simplified word to order order the AI to do what we want. Right. The next one, let me introduce you some diagram creation. Right. We use Core AI and write a prompt. Right. Write a weekly work plan with a monthly operating period dot, 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 in the form of a Gantt chart with mermaid code. Right. Then you copy this code and you open the draw IO program and then go to the mermaid. Bam, you got the Gantt chart within the, how can I say, 5 minutes, I think. But if you need to do the Gantt chart by yourself in the PowerPoint or in the anything in any program, I think you get like a 15 minutes at least 15 minutes, 30 minutes. But if you use the AI tool, you will get it in 5 minutes, or maybe it's in 3 minutes, right? If you just type this one, copy the code, put it in the draw IO, bam, you get a screenshot, right? So as I say, it is an assistant, so use it, right? The next one, that this one is a screenshot, right? But if you want the mind map, right? You can still use code, right? I want to create a mind map about da, 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 by using it in the markmap.js.org. You copy the code, just copy the code, put it in the mark map program, and then you get the mind map. You get the mind map. Let's assume you need to do the mind map is like how many things? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, you have like a 30 element in here, right? 40, I think 40 element here. If you do the mind map by yourself manually, right? Each element you need to use 1 minute to type, right? You use 40 minutes to do the mind map. But here, 5 minutes, still 5 minutes, right? Okay, so you can see the advantage of the GenAI, right? Okay, so the next one, the summary technique from the web or the YouTube, right? So we have a My Pen, it's a Chrome extension, right? You install it, enable it, go to the paper that you want. You just click the My Pen here, then you get the map without single word that you need to read. You don't need to read anything. You get the mind map already, right? The next one for the YouTube, you can get the summary of from the YouTube, right? The same way, add the Chrome attention, enable, then you get the summary here. But that is general AI when new content is created by artificial intelligence. Okay, so you already get the summaries from the YouTube, from the video, right? Very simple, very simple, but it will help you a lot. I mean, a lot, right? Okay, the next one, making research presentation slide. Go to the camera, click on the create the new, right? Import your file, import your paper. Let me show. Import your paper, upload a file, and then select the presentation. So here, assume that this is my paper, right? Select the number of slide that I want. So let me assume 8 slide. Go to continue. Now we have 8 slide. We can select the theme, right? Select the theme, the black one, the white one, the fancy one, anything. And then you click generate it. Now you can export it to PDF or PowerPoint, right? Easy. Now you get the slide. If you are a student, you already have a summary of the information that your professor assigned you to do. You go to this one, making a slide, put the number, get the team, get the PowerPoint. Just that, right? What about the cover, the book cover? I mean the research cover image, right? We use a Copilot image creator. We enter a topic or the keyword, right? Click create. Now go to the canvas, select search for the research cover page. This one is a research cover page from the Canva, right? Now you put your image that created from the Copilot. Now you get the book cover page within a second, right? So now it's help. The GenAI is the assistant. You need to remember this. It's only an assistant. You need to do everything by yourself, but you have a powerful assistant that help you a lot. Right? Okay, let me summarize about the AI tool that help to write the research. Right, the first one is Claude, right? ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini, Copilot, right? We have size space, consensus, and read map, right? The advantage is you to find creativity, you to create the new ideas, and then we use uh, decrease our time to process anything, right? But about the restriction, the academic reference, access to the academic database, because now the AI cannot access to the, how can I say, the quartile one, quartile two, cannot access to the IEEE in if it's not open access, right? Okay, so this is the question, the good question. As most of the AI software have already been built, so what will be our work actually in our workspace? Okay, so let me tell you. When you do the research, right, you still need to find the topic or use the AI to help you find the topic, but you still need to select the topic. When you select the topic, you ask AI to help to do some find the literature review or related work, right? But the only AI itself cannot cannot guarantee that the answer of the AI is correct, right? So now in our workspace, we still important because we need to cross check the data, cross check everything from the AI, right? If AI create, if you ask AI to create the paper without any human feedback or your feedback, that paper may be imaginary, or of the data in that paper will be like generated from nowhere, from itself, not from the methodology that we use, not from the experiment, right? The AI just created from nowhere, from itself. So what do you think if the AI submit that paper to the Q1? Do you think it will accept? No, for sure, right? Because the AI is the assistant now, right? If the researcher will read whole paper that AI created, so it will have some problem, right? The data creation or the reference that they generate from the imaginary. So humans still the important part. AI is just an IA, intelligent assistant. The AI cannot do everything by itself for now. I think for now. And for the question, you need to go deeper in your job, right? So let me tell you, if you are the CEO of the company, right? When you hire the junior or the internship, you can use ChatGPT instead of the internship, right? But what about for the senior? For the senior programmer, you still cannot use the ChatGPT instead of replacing the senior programmer, right? So you need to go deeper in your field, in your job that AI cannot reach yet, right? So you need to go deeper, go specific, right, and become a specialist, not only the common job or routine job, right? Okay, I think that might answer your question. Okay. Okay, now let me work through the using AI to help from start to end in the research area, right? Okay, first one for the research topic. Okay, let me stop this one. So I need to answer the question. In the future, AI will take away our job. Yes, in some job that I already answered before, right? The job that type from the paper into the system now is gone. Uh, the doctor that read the X-ray, maybe he will gone. Let me tell you this. The job that will be gone is the job that depend on the data or analysis on the data, right? Because AI also the brain that depend on the data, right? If anything is depend on the data, the AI you have more accuracy than the human, right? But if it have a job that needs the more morality, emotion, or feeling, so the AI cannot replace that. Let me assume the doctor. If the patient have a cancer, so will the doctor go to tell the cousin that the parent cousin that patient cousin that your your wife will die in 2 hours? No, the doctor cannot do that, right? But if AI is a doctor, they will tell the truth, right? So the job that have to use the morality, feeling, emotion, so the AI cannot replacing yet until the super AI is came out. We need to wait to see the super AI what they can do. Okay. I think it should answer your question. All right. Okay, so let move next to the slide, right? So for the first one, finding a research topic, right? Finding a research topic is the first step in research, right? And this is one of the major problem for some researcher. They cannot think of a topic, right? Some people change the topic so often that they never really start the research. To help answer this question, here's how to find a research topic with prompt, right? We use Claude or ChatGPT or Gemini, whatever you want, right? First one, explore current issue or situation. You can just use prompt. What are the interesting issue of dot and from the aforementioned problem, suggest topic for research. Or you have a prompt, describe the situation, describe your situation, and then ask him, and from the situation, suggest a topic from research. Just that you will get a bunch of topic, and then you select it, right? Read the old research in your field of interest, right? You can prompt it, read and analyze 10 of recent research on the topic and suggest that there are gaps in the area that such research has not yet been done, right? It means that read the old paper and tell me the limitation or what I can improve, right? The first one, ask for the expert opinion. Act as an actor. So this one is like role play, right? Act as an expert on suggest research topic. You can use the AI to the IA, right? Information assistant. Choose a topic that match your knowledge and interest or attitude, right? I have expertise in and would like to suggest a research topic. Okay. So 5, publication opportunity. So study the content scope of the journal and suggest research topics that are consistent with the needs of journal. Okay, you actually it's like you talk to your professor. You can you ask anything, you ask any question to your professor, you can ask it to the AI. Okay. The next one, the topic of research from future research proposal. Right. So what does the research does suggest for future research? So you can improve that paper, right? You can improve that research. Okay. The last one, number 7, survey of the needs of organization that support research funding. Okay. For the prompt, read and analyze and suggest interesting research topic. Okay, so this one is for the research topic, right? Okay, so the next one, finding research topic from the Scopus or ISI database. Okay, you get 5 academic article in the Scopus or ISI database related to the with reference and links. But you need to aware this reference and link may generated by AI itself, but it's not correct, right? So you can do like a brainstorm also. Write the prompt here. Brainstorm and suggest 3 research topics from the attached document according to the following criteria. It is theoretical or practical research problem related to the original research. This is a new research topic. Lead to the publication of research article in the Scopus database. You can just type. Just type. Actually, you can just type and then you will get the answer. The next one, the introduction. Okay, so I will pass the aspect to the introduction first, all right? Okay, so for the introduction, we can do the prompt like this. Write the original and importance of the problem for research in along with reference to academic article and links. Okay, now you get the introduction, or you can do what impact arise from this problem with reference. Right. Or you can do what limitation of previous research make this problem still unresolved. Briefly explain with reference. Right. Or the fourth one, what limitation of previous research make this problem still unresolved? Oh, it's the same. Sorry, it's the same. It's the same. Go to the fifth one. Read and analyze of recent research on the topic and suggest that there are gaps in the area that such research has not yet been done with citation and reference. So, how can I say? The GenAI is quite powerful assistant, right? So I think it's almost the time, right? So let me go like just briefly through this one, right? So for the objective, you can write the main objective of the research to address this problem, right? For the literature review, I already show you, right? The role of AI for literature review is useful in the field of data retrieval, asking for idea or opinion on various issues. However, researchers should check, understand, and analyze by themselves again. This one, you need to highlight this one. You need to understand and analyze by yourself again, and check the reference correctly. Right. Is this question that we asked to ChatGPT? You can use to ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, or any LLM, any large language model. You can use this prompt. Okay, so we can use the CNS technique. C is mean citation count, new is newness, S is specific. Okay, you can go to SciSpace, go to the literature review, and then select the column. Okay, as I show you in the early slide, right? For the research method, AI plays a role in designing research methodology in terms of data retrieval, providing knowledge, and helping to design tools, methods, and research processes. so that researcher can understand and obtain information to be analyzed, improved, and used appropriately. Right? You can use the prompt. I plan to do research on the dot with the dot. Please write the academic research which can be published in Scopus, consisting of 3 paragraphs and as follow. First one is research method, research tool, and data analysis. You can just type this one. The next one is research result. You can prompt, please provide expected result from your suggest method. Just that. All right. So this quite a lot of tool that you can use. All right. You can use the GenAI to read the table into the natural language. Discussion. So the prompt is from the expected result, discuss the study result on every aspect according to the academic principle, including reference. Right. Summary, please provide research summary for your expected result. The last one, suggestion. From the following situation, how can the research finding be applied? Right. Let me move back to the abstract. From the following situation, how can the research finding be applied? Okay, so this one is, sorry, this slide is wrong. This one, from the research work, please write abstract with the following condition. So you can give any condition, right? About the reference, so you can prompt sort the reference using the ChatGPT or Claude using the prompt. Sort the reference by alphabet, by Thai and English or anything. Okay, so a little more, because we almost got the time like 5 minutes, right? So you can make a slide present with a slide maker in the ChatGPT. You can find English questionnaire here. You can using AI. You need to using AI ethically, right? For the black research, you can go to the ChatGPT, paste the link of the paper, copy all part of the paper, and let AI rewrite it to you for you. So we call it the black research. What about the white research? You write your own, but using the AI to paraphrase your own research. So that's quite still acceptable, right? Because we just need to change the word to make it more formal or for more technical, right? So let me tell you again. The AI is intelligent assistant, not researcher itself, right? So use it ethically, right? So we still have a tool that detect AI with the AI detector, right? So it still can detect which word, which paragraph that generated with the AI. So you need to aware of this one, right? So we need a paraphraser. Yeah, so you can just type some phrase, so they will rewrite it. So let's move to the ethical use of AI. Ethic in the use of the AI in research. Write your own. Okay, by only paraphrase and write the reference correctly. No hidden agenda for using AI. So it means that you need to comment a part that using AI, including in all process, right? You need to show, you need to tell everyone that which part that AI we using the AI to help in which part. Right? The last one is reference to the AI or tools. We need to reference to AI or tool that we use, right? we we have to show, we have to prove it that which part is AI be used, right? We are responsible for everything, but we use AI as an assistant. The role of an AI as an assistant, you need to remember, assistant, not researcher itself, right? We use AI to collect the information. We use AI to get the opinion and suggestion. We use the AI to do the correction and proofreading. So now, what do you think about the proofreading? The expert in English, expert in any language. Now we can use the AI to proofreading or the grammar checking, right? So what do you think about about this kind of job, the proofreading. So yeah, proofreading is still required in the uh, higher quartile, right? In Q1, we for myself, if I would like to submit for the Q1 paper, so I still hire the proof leader. But for the, how can I say, for the conference or anything, we I can just use the GenAI to check my grammar, right? The last one is reference. We can use the AI to rewrite the reference according to the style that we submit, right? IEEE, APA, or the journal. For the next one, the example AI prevention policy of each journal, right? For the Elsevier policy, author should disclose the use of AI in each part of the manuscript to show transparency, identify AI tools with reason. The GenAI is not allowed to create or edit the image. The IEEE policies in the article is must be revealed that the part generated by AI refer to the AI system used to generate the text. And for the Cambridge query announce and explain the use of AI. Do not use AI to recognize or propose idea, information, word, or content to the author without reference. Certify the originality and accuracy of each part of the research. Okay, so we have a question. When if I am taking help of AI in the research, so how should I cite it? How should I tell that I use this tool or AI model in my research? For me, I use it in the reference, and when I submit it, so they have like a few that what what would you tell the editor, right? Or something that you need to tell the editor. So I will put some note in there that I use AI in which part and which AI tool that I use. Okay, I think this one is answer your question. So just cite the tools, or in the reference, or maybe you can just note to the editor. Okay. So the benefit of using AI as a research assistant, right? So first one, in terms of the quality, right? You can ask AI when you can find something good. You can ask AI to get more data in the deep detail. You can ask AI to cross-check our ideas, right? Like a consensus level, right? The next one, benefit of AI in terms of productivity, we can work faster, right? We don't need to do literature review by ourselves using the AI to act as a consult or specialist, analyze the data and write some reference, right? So I think today is done for me. So I hope you guys get some Gen AI idea here. And if you have any question or would like to talk to me, so you can just email me or anything, right? So I think it will be good to share our knowledge or share any tools that helps us work, right? So if you have comment, question, so please tell me. So it's done for today. Thank you very much for your coming, right? So thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Arnan, for information and knowledge that you have shared with us on generative AI and research. Now, let's move on to the phase two. And for this, I may now request co host Ms. Pooja Amin to take over the session. Thank you.
Thank you, Namrata ma'am. Good afternoon to Honorable Speaker, respected Principal ma'am, CEO ma'am, Chief Coordinator ma'am, teachers, and to all participants from around the globe. I, Ms. Pooja Amin, faculty at the Department of Information Technology, would like to introduce you all to the Speaker of Phase 2, Mr. Devesh Rajyadyaksh. Mr. Devesh is a dynamic entrepreneur and visionary leader in the field of artificial intelligence. Currently serving as a CEO and founder of Siri Labs Private Limited, his journey is categorized by a profound passion for scientific inquiry and technological advancements, which drives his commitment to developing innovative AI solutions. With extensive research and development, he has contributed significantly to the field of AI, emphasizing the importance of educating the next generation in emerging technologies. As an author, he has penned Decoding GPT, an innovative introduction to large language models, which simplifies complex concepts in AI and machine learning for a broader audience, and inspired many to explore the transformative potential of AI and machine learning technologies. Sir, we are highly obliged to have you with us. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, uh, ma'am, for the kind introduction. So let's start the session. Okay, I'm
Sir,
just,
you aren't audible.
I'm not audible.
Yes, yes, sir, you are audible now.
Okay, fine. I'm just trying to, share my presentation. Just give me a moment. Okay, I think I figured it out. Okay, is the screen visible properly? Hello, Pooja ma'am?
Yes, yes, sir, your screen is visible.
Okay, right. So that was a very nice first session. I'm sure the students have got a lot of valuable information on generative AI. And now my session is about the future trends in generative AI. Already, ma'am has introduced me very well. Okay, but here are a few more things. As she has already mentioned, I have written a book on large language models, and I've been working for about 9 years now. Deep learning is my subject of interest, and of course, now large language models. I have also done some amount of research on knowledge bases, and I'm founder of a company called Seri Labs, where we have worked on a generative AI platform. Its name is Queryfic, and it's being used by quite a lot of companies currently. I also do consulting with many companies for generative AI. So that's a quick bit about me. I don't want to spend much time here. Yeah, but let's see what we want to achieve through this lecture. I know that there are different kind of audiences who are attending the lecture today. For the students, what I want to do here as a takeaway is if they can take some project ideas, because we are talking about future trends, so they might get some, some uh, inspiration from here, and maybe go on to add to some of the GenAI, literature. I'll be very happy. For teachers, they can get some topics for their lab sessions if there is some flexibility in designing your lab sessions. If your college is organizing hackathons, maybe you will find some of these topics maybe worthy of being given as problem statements. And if there are any PhD aspirants, okay, then I'm sure some of them are already considering generative AI topics, and maybe somewhere what we discussed today can help them. And then for the others, I'm not going to explain much more about what generative AI is, because I think the first session has done a wonderful job doing that. But then I'll be touching up in places what is the state of the play today in generative AI. And so I'm hoping to inspire some of you to take up that reading and maybe do some advanced reading later. These are the objectives that I have set. Let's see how we go ahead. No. Okay, so quickly we'll go through what is generative AI first. As I said, I don't want to do quite a lot, but only to set the tone of the lecture. And then we inspect some of the trends which are going on. As I'm an industry person, and so I'm looking at generative AI more from industry perspective here. The problems or challenges that I see when we implement, when we work with GenAI, and I've tried to share some of those experiences here. But I'm also trying to give enough resources like journal papers and articles so that then you can do the research yourself. I'm sure this presentation will be shared. I have, so that you can get access to the resources that I have mentioned. So these are some of the trends that we will inspect, like model size and limitations, how models can be used more effectively in production. Like one is when you do your projects or pilots, but the second thing is when actually industry starts using it, then what are the problems and what are the trends which are happening in that area. Model training, obviously a big part of the whole ecosystem. What are the things happening there? And then how when we call models, like you saw a lot of examples of using models, uh, but then what are the trends that we see in the industry? And then finally, about the ethics and governance. This is a topic that is becoming more and more important. I could see that many of the questions that the students have asked are also, at least what I saw from the live chat, is that their concerns also lie more on this side. So that's something I want to do bit in the end. Let's begin with what is it, right? Now, strictly speaking, if we define generative AI, it will be like if you are using some of the model, one of the model that can generate sequences, right? And this is not new. It is as early as 2014 that we had sequence to sequence models which we are able to generate test sequences, right? So that way GenAI is nothing new. But what changed is obviously that models just got bigger. If like I have been working in AI for quite some time, and we used to have computer vision models, which we used for even today we use it for detecting objects or classifying objects. And the size of those models were in millions of parameters, that is. And when transformers came on the scene in 2017-18, we started having this explosive growth in the size of the models. But even if you consider early model like BERT, and I'm taking example of BERT large, which is slightly bigger, even then we talk about around 350, 340 million parameters, right? And then when the world saw ChatGPT first in November 2022, uh, that was using the model GPT 3.5, and everybody knows that it has 175 billion parameters. So that's actually within say 5 years or maybe 4 years, we had a growth of 500, more than 500 times in the size of the model, and then we have even bigger models now. So somewhere generative AI, when we talk about generative AI, we also have to take this into account, because what happened was that the model could actually learn a lot more. And so we taught a lot more to the models, right? Like if you read, the current large language models are trained on trillions of words, right? Trillion is like 1,000 billion, and billion like 1,000 million. So that's a really big number. And so, we have very large models. We train them on really, really large amount of data using huge and very expensive compute. And all this kind of furnace has brought together this ability that these models now, which are called as foundation models, can do things they were really not trained to do. And like earlier models where we trained them to do certain things like classify, and then they used to do it. But these are models which can do a lot of things on their own. That's something that for our current purpose, we should consider that as when we talk about generative AI, we should say that if we are using these models, then we are doing generative AI, not in the strict sense of the word. And you are aware that foundation models are available uh, for different type of data. They are called modalities. So when you hear multimodal, they can handle multiple modalities, or in other words, multiple type of data. However, this data should be a sequence, right? Language is naturally a sequence of words, and words making sentences and so on. But images is also a sequence, as you all know, because images are made up of pixels, right? So when you use a mobile phone camera, they talk about like 10 megapixel, or so that mega means 10 lakh, 1 uh, million. So it's like a 10 megapixel image is made up of 10 into 1 million pixels, so 10 million pixels. However, image is basically a sequence of pixels, right? And similarly, video is a sequence of images. Image is a sequence of pixels, so that's also a sequence. And speech, we all know that it is a sequence of short sounds which are called phonemes. For these different type of data, different models are available. My list is slightly older. Like for example, if you say GPT-4, we should now say GPT-4o or GPT-4o mini, or those are the latest models. Llama 3.1 is latest. But then a lot has happened in the image and speech space. Many new models have come. Only last week, a new model called Flux for image generation was released, and people are really going gaga over it. Uh, so this will keep on happening. We have video generation models as well, like Sora and so on. Right. But for today's talk, my examples are going to be more in the space of language. Those models are called large language models. The reason is I understand them more, first of all. And secondly, Uh, in the industry, currently the language models are more practical and being put to use, while others like yes, images and speech are closely following. Speech are pretty much being used. A lot of virtual assistant, virtual callers, which are there already. Uh, but for our current purpose, you will see that most of my examples are coming from language modality. That doesn't mean that the other models don't have advancements. Uh, they are also happening at a rapid pace, and I'm sure you would like to scan that horizon as well. Right? So our purpose, generative AI means foundation models, and we are going to focus more on the language models. Right? Okay. So let's begin with the future trends. So first of all, we begin with model size. How are things happening in the model size? So you know that I mentioned in beginning that uh, the whole thing about generative AI uh, breaking onto the scene and gaining so much traction is because the size of the models went on growing. Right? So if you see, I took the example of BERT, but here they have taken example of GPT-1, which is more or less similar. From GPT-1 to GPT-4, it has been growing and growing and growing. GPT-4, in fact, has, as mentioned, 1 trillion parameters. And the future models in the GPT-4o, for example, they don't even declare how many parameters they have. So we have no way of knowing. But this is something that really happened in the last 2 years or so, when the models just kept on growing. And you should know that when models grow, the companies which create these models, like OpenAI or Google or Cloudy, so the companies, Cloudy is made by a company called Anthropic. So these companies spend massive amount of money on these models. And if you want to use one of these models, then even use also requires again spending a lot of money and especially energy, which kept everyone thinking. And so we now see the reverse trend. Now we talk about small language models or SLMs, and here you can see a list of few models where Llama 3, of course, has larger variants as well. But then we have one model which is 8 billion, which is pretty good. I mean, I have tested Llama 3.1 for our purpose, and it serves very well in most of the areas where we are using the LLM. Similarly, you know that 5 now 5 3.5 was just released. My slides are not updated, and that is also 5.3.5 is also giving multimodal capability with images as well. And then Gema is there, and I'm sure some of you have heard of a company called Mistral, which is a French company, and they also have this series of small models. And then Apple is famous for their phones, but they are also now getting big time into AI. You must have seen the last announcements from from Apple, where they said that so many things are coming to your phone based on AI. And they have these models called ELM series, which are very small because they are some of them are supposed to work on a phone. So this is one trend where we see the model size as going down now. Then, but how come that, if our capabilities came from increasing model size, then how the small models are also able to do the same thing? So that's the research which is going on, is that how can we uh, build the same amount of capabilities but have a smaller model size, so that it is better managed. The problem is larger models are very hard to serve. It requires very expensive compute. We'll see that in some time, to very expensive hardware to serve these models. And so smaller models are preferred by users. Right? And here I give some references. You can check them out about what Microsoft did to create this model 5.3, which is basically how they created high quality training data. So one of the recipes of making a small language model is the training data should be of a higher quality. To elaborate a little bit more, when we talk about the really large models getting trained, the amount of data goes into training is very large. Okay. Also, these are self-supervised trainings, which means you just feed the text and the model keeps on learning. The data set is made up of multiple websites from the internet, books, code examples, and so on. But that data is not really curated. I mean, nobody has really gone through the data to see whether what purpose or whether that data is really useful. That's because they want to get everything into the model. But then what research shows is that if there is some amount of selection, curation that is performed on the data set, then the capability of the model in certain tasks also improves. Okay, so this is one uh, method of the SLMs uh, acquiring the similar capabilities to the larger models. And another method is called a mixture of expert. Now, this is an interesting technique where many small models, so they are called small models are called experts because they are good at doing a certain things. For example, there may be a model which may be good at answering questions related to US laws, right? Or some may be good at answering uh, questions related to medicine. So you take a large number of such small models, and then you have uh, a kind of a gateway model which will first of all analyze the query which has come from the user and decide which are those models. It will basically do a short listing of those models, and which are the models which will be good at answering this query. Then it will route that query to those models, and the answers given by the experts will be again put together. These are some very interesting techniques that researchers are trying. You already have, for example, we just saw the mixtral model, which is actually a mixture of expert. So in many cases on Hugging Face also you will see that they'll talk about 52 billion parameters total and 18 billion active, right? Which means that there are many models, and so total parameters are large, but at any point of time only some of those are active, right? So those are the models which are implemented using the MOE method. Okay, so let's move on to the next trend. You know that LLMs have a lot of limitations, right? All generative AI models have limitations. And you heard about some of these limitations in the last lecture also. Okay, so obviously, a lot of research trends are actually directed at overcoming these limitations. Okay, I'll just give one or two examples, but that should tell you how these things are working. Okay. So let's take the example of hallucinations. I just give a representative example. I just did this casually 2 days back, and I asked about how many M's are there in the word irritation. But it gives a completely wrong answer. I asked twice. You can see that. Still, I got the same answer. There are two R's. It is not what I asked. But then I asked again, putting changing that thing a little bit, and then it gave the right answer. But the thing is, when this happens, you can't really trust the answer. That's the problem with hallucinations. Most of the time the answer is right, but because it can make mistakes sometime, that means you need to check everything. So fact check is important. Yeah. So hallucination that way is a big hurdle, in implementation of LLMs in industry. Because wherever if you go and try to convince a company, they will say, but what happens if the information is wrong? In the corporate industrial environment, uh, giving wrong information to the client or to an employee is a big problem, right? So hallucination is something that everybody is trying very hard to overcome. Now, I just divide the screen into two. What are the existing methods and what is the new research? Because we should move on from the current one to the next one. So, uh, of course, the uh, very, very common techniques to overcome hallucination are prompting techniques. Okay? So you do a few short, which means that you give some examples to the model. So the model is able to do what is called as in-context learning. It's a temporary kind of learning, and that brings down the hallucination to a large extent. There are prompting techniques like chain of thought. I'm sure you heard of them when you ask the model to think, to explain the step by step what it is doing, and that also reduces hallucination to a lot small amount. I'm saying reducing. You can't really get completely rid of hallucination using these techniques. Then you have obviously fine tuning. If you think that the model is hallucinating because it doesn't have enough information, and so what happens is, as you are, I'm sure, aware, the way generative models work is that they use statistics to generate the next uh, bit of the sequence, right? So they provide attention to whatever they have got. They try to predict what should be the next token, which may be a word or it may be a pixel or whatever. This is entirely statistical in nature, and therefore the model really doesn't know. It doesn't have uh, the data stored anywhere. It just makes it up statistically. So therefore, if the model doesn't have right information, then it still makes up something. That's where hallucinations come from. So one method to overcome it is fine tuning, in which fine tuning is basically model training, okay, but which is done with a small amount of data. Okay, and you change only few of the parameters. We will come to fine tuning a little later. So fine tuning is one of the ways through which more information is going to is given to the model, and therefore the model is in because it now has the information, is able to avoid the hallucination. You can supply a lot of parameters to the model like temperature and top k, how many uh, options you want to consider. That's called a top k selection parameter. So these are the parameters which you can adjust also to get to kind of get control of hallucination. Okay. However, I must be talking about new research, right? So here is an interesting technique, which is called attention map. Okay. I don't want to get into the details of attention map, but I've given the reference here. Basically, since the generation happens with respect to the attention, you know, that has been calculated. If we observe the attention, then we will get a clue about whether the model is hallucinating or it has a strong evidence to generate the sequence. Okay, and this is the fact that is used in uh, this using attention map technique. You can read the paper. It is they call the technique as look back lens, where they are looking back on how this particular token was generated. Another limitation, or in fact a problem with language models, is that they can generate content which can be objectionable, right? Which means they can answer questions which it shouldn't have answered. Now, it is not necessarily objectionable, doesn't always mean that it is something bad, right? Now, for example, imagine that one company has created a chatbot using a model, and that company has a product X, right? Like a car. And somebody asks about product Y, which is a competitor's product, right? But because the model has the information, it starts talking about the competitor's product as well, right? Now, this is inappropriate content. That if it is the chatbot made by company A, it should not talk about products of company B. That's not what we expect, right? So, how do we overcome this? Obviously, there are other more serious categories like it may be using obscenities or words which are sensitive in nature. It may be giving information about potentially dangerous tasks, etc. All that is there. But I'm talking about examples which are more relevant in the industry. So how can we overcome this? So there are already some known methods which are like a reinforcement learning based training, when we present multiple options to the model and give a reward based on whether the model's answer was what we want or not. So reward based mechanisms which are reinforcement learning. Fine tuning again. Then there are non-machine learning methods also, which are like look for keywords. So in all these are called moderation mechanisms. All these mechanisms are already there. And suppose you are accessing ChatGPT or Gemini, then these models are adequately protected. You will not be able to easily get those kind of answers from the model. But then that doesn't solve the first problem that I mentioned. That the model should not give some information which is not really such sensitive in nature, but it is not correct from a company's perspective. So those problems still remain. Okay. And there is actually a technique which is called active forgetting, which is actually a kind of counterintuitive thing, because we are training the model to remember, but this technique is actually about forgetting, where we can force the model to selectively remove some of the things that it actually knows. Okay, so interesting technique. However, this technique is more used for learning multiple languages. Okay, language. So even the paper is about language plasticity. But I have seen or heard of some research which is using the same technique to overcome the inappropriate content problem. So here's another example. Okay. Now we go to the next trend, which is basically how can we use the models in production. Okay, you are aware that models can be used by industry in many ways. Okay, one is you use models which are hosted by other companies, right? Like there are models hosted by OpenAI, Microsoft, Google, Anthropic, which are called cloud models, and there are so many other models are there. So one way is to use the API of these models. Okay. Second way is that companies actually host open source models. Some companies make their own models also, but that's rare. Most companies host open source models. The most popular models, open source models, which are hosted by companies are Llama 3, now 3.1, Mistral, Phi, Gamma, and so on. So these are the models which I'm talking about language models. Similarly, in images also there are, Flux, for example, is latest open source image model. So these host these models. Now, where do they host them? They might have an in-house machine, to host these models, or they can host it on a cloud. So they will buy a cloud subscription from somebody like AWS or Azure or GCP, that is Google Cloud, and host the model on that real or virtual machine. Okay. The problem is that it is very expensive. So, for example, let's take the example of Llama 3, okay, in which we had a 70 billion model. Now, actually, in Llama 3.1, recently released, we also have a 490B model, which is like almost 500 billion parameters. So it's a monster. But let us stick to 70 billion. Okay. Now you know what a parameter is. It's basically a value. A model parameter is nothing but a weight of the neural network, one weight. So it's basically a floating point value, and a floating point value usually has 4 bytes, correct? 32 bits. That actually becomes too much. So many times the model is uh, lowered down to fit in a 16-bit uh, quantization. We'll talk about it later. Okay. So get this picture that original model had 32 bits or 4 bytes for each parameter, but we are processing the model and reducing the precision to 16 bit, which is 2 bytes. Okay. Now, you may be aware that serving the model, which means when you use the model, the machine has to be fitted with what is called as a GPU. Right? GPUs are those things which earlier were used by the gamers, because to accelerate the graphics, and now they are being used for AI inference. Right? And why are GPUs required for running AI models? Is because running AI models are basically neural networks. And neural network is nothing but a big matrix. So which means calculating a neural network requires huge number of matrix multiplications. And GPUs are actually good at matrix multiplication. So therefore, the place of GPUs in serving uh, generative AI models or any AI models. Okay, so with that, a little bit of background. Let us see now what happens when we serve a 70 billion parameter model. So you have 2 bytes per parameter. So you will require 140 gigabyte memory in your GPU. Okay, now let me tell you this. Many of you will have a GPU on their laptop. A typical video RAM, VRAM as it is called, of such a card is 4 GB. Okay, if you buy a card which has got 16 gigabyte memory, that will cost you around 50,000 rupees. Okay. And as you require more and more VRAM, the GPUs become really expensive. Now here we talk about 140 gigabyte, right? Okay. And you know this company NVIDIA, which make these GPUs, and it's the world's most valuable company right now because of the GPUs that they make. Okay, so they have a GPU model called A100, okay, which has got 80 GB video RAM. Okay, now how many GPUs will require for 140? It will not fit in one, so you'll require a machine which is fitted with 2 NVIDIA A100 GPUs. Okay, now these GPUs are very, very expensive to buy, like they will cost you 20 lakh or something like that. But most people use a cloud instance provided by somebody like AWS. So such a cloud instance will cost you about 30 dollars per hour. $30 per hour is like 2,500 rupees per hour. So you can do the math and you can see that, if a company wants to use a 70 billion Llama 3, that too reduced in precision, they are going to spend a lot of money, correct? So this is one area where a lot of research is required. Okay, so I have two uh, methods, and I have two references for you to read. So first method is called parameter pruning. You can, from the name itself, you can imagine what it will be. Basically, from the model, you are removing certain parameters. How are you able to remove these parameters? Because when the model is trained, it is trained on everything. They don't know what you're going to use it for, because this is not your special model. It is an open source model trained by, in case of Llama, it is trained by Meta, right? Or in case of, let's say, Mistral, it is trained by Mistral company. So those companies train it for general purpose. But you want to use it, let's say, why do you want to use it? Let's say you want to use it for reading legal contracts. Okay, that's what you want to use it for. So all those 70 billion parameters are probably not going to be useful. Many of those parameters might, during inference, have the value 0, right? So it's possible, theoretically, to identify such parameters and remove them from the circuit, so that even though the model remains 70 billion, but actually it can fit into a much smaller memory. This is called parameter pruning. There are many methods of these this pruning, and if you search, you will get a lot of papers on parameter pruning. I quote one paper here, which is one of the latest papers. It says optimization based structural pruning. So a lot of work is going on in this area, because this can be very valuable. You take a a really big model like even a 140 billion or something, but if you can fit it in one GPU or 100 GPU or one A100 GPU, or even smaller than that, you are saving a lot of cost and still getting the same results. Okay? The second technique is quantization. This is not new. Okay, and I'm sure some of you are already using quantized models. So we already spoke about how we can bring it from 32 bits to 16 bits. That's actually quantization, because what are you doing? You have a value which, if you are 32 bits, that means it is going to be between like 0 to 4 billion. Right? That's the range of values that uh, that 632 bits can support. You are bringing that value down to 0 to 65,000, whatever, 16-bit value. So which means you are actually compressing them, the values, and we are talking about values of the parameters, right? You are compressing them. We have seen that it works pretty much the same, because actually the parameter values are small. So therefore, such a range is not really required. But then can we compress them further? Instead of 16 bits, can we get a 8 bit? What about 6 bits? What about 4 bits? So these are all have been tried out. So if you see a Llama 3.1 model on Hugging Face, you will see that all these different quantizations are available. Are any of you trying to load these models on Google Colab? So if you are using Google Colab, you will know that Google Colab gives you in free a, GPU called T4. Okay, and T4 has 16 GB VRAM. So if you want to fit a model in 16 GB, then you cannot use a model with, let's take, you have a Llama 3.5 8B model, a small model. But even that will not fit without quantization, because Now you can do this, right? If you have a 8B model, it will require 32 gigabyte memory in the GPU, but you have only 16. So which means you have to use a quantized version. Okay? And lot of techniques are used for doing this quantization. Quantization can be done after the model is trained, or you can even do it while you are training it, while you are fine tuning it, and all these things are there. Here is one excellent article that I found very useful. Okay, which gives a very visual guide. It is easy to read, and I'm sure you find some excellent topics when you go through this. And so this is all about how you can adapt models to your purpose. If you are doing a project with a generative AI model, then you will have some purpose in mind, right? And there will be some model which is suitable for that purpose. But can you make it run on your laptop or in your collab, or on the machine that your college has provided? That's a big area, and companies face the same problem. There is a model like Llama 3.1490 billion is an excellent model, but it will require so much GPU that actually it's very hard for a company to practically use it. So those are the problems that we are talking about here. Let's move on to the next thing. Of course, model training is a very basic area, right? I mean, uh, any of the models that you see have gone through an exhaustive and long training process. Okay. Now, model training is typically divided into two phases. The first is called pre-training. I have put it the other way because of how we how important it is to us. But if you see a life cycle wise, pre-training comes first. When you download a model from Hugging Face, it is a pre-trained model, right? And so, what is pre-training? So, in pre-training, there are multiple phases. Okay, pre-training is not one; there are sub phases. First of all, there is that self-supervised phase which everybody talks about, where so many billions or trillions of tokens, which are nothing but the text, are fed to the model, and the model trains itself. Correct. Here it uses all the methods like auto regression and so on. So this is the self-supervised phase. After that, there is a phase which is called supervised fine-tuning, or SFT. So the models which do not go through this phase are called base models. They are not good at answering questions. Base models are used for different purposes. Okay, they are used, for example, for classification or embedding. So if you see any model family, they'll talk about the base model, instruct model, and chat model, right? So there are different layers of training that they give. Base model only self-supervised initial training. So if you ask a question to the model, it will reply something, it will generate something, but it will not be a reply to your question. It will be just generating some stuff. You have to fine tune this. So they do the supervised fine tuning in which they train the model to reply. So this becomes a instruct model. An instruct model understands what the user is saying and is able to reply properly. So this is SFT. But the most action, the research action, is happening in the next layer, which is called a chat layer, where techniques like RLHF, which means reinforcement learning with human feedback, okay, or DPO, which means direct preference optimization. So these are techniques which are used so that the model gives answers which are nice to human beings. The answers can be of many types, right? So the model is able to give answers, but the answers may be such that you find them very dry. You find them like reading a book, then you will not use ChatGPT if it gives you long and dry answers. Why do you use ChatGPT? Because it gives you answers which are pleasing to human beings. It says certainly I'll do this, and it changes the language, everything, and so on. So this is the stuff that is built into the model in the third phase, which are reinforcement based or reference optimizations. And I give a paper which is about reference optimization here. And those of you who have studied reinforcement learning in your courses will find this very interesting. It's a very, very active area of research. By no means this is an established uh, category, and a lot of you can find, especially if you're doing your master's or a doctoral project, then this can be a very interesting area. Fine tuning is something that everyone can do. It is done on a pre-trained model. Okay, I'll tell you the difference between pre-training and fine tuning. In pre-training, you optimize all the parameters. So if your model has got 70 billion parameters, you start with a transformer, right, which is an empty shell of a model. And then you optimize all the parameters. You change their values such that it is good at doing something. So obviously it's a massive job. 70 billion is a large number, right? 1 billion is 1000 million, 1 million is 10 lakh. So it's like 70 into 10 into 1000 into 1000. So that those many uh, parameters. So training them is really a massive enterprise. In fine tuning, we don't change the values of all those parameters. We change values of only a few parameters. And there are some very interesting techniques like LoRa and Q means quantized LoRa. So basically, LoRa means low rank adaptation. I'll not go into details, but basically what it does is rather than touching the parameters which are already there, it adds a small number of parameters there so that the model gets new knowledge. Okay, it becomes better at doing some things that you want. At the same time, the existing models are not touched. Existing parameters are not touched. Because if the existing parameters are changed, then there is that risk of forgetting. The model may be able to do the new things, but then might forget something, just like what happens to us as students. We try to study more, but then start forgetting what we learned last month. So that is called catastrophic forgetting, and that's also another area of research. And then there is this layer-wise importance sampling. So, another technique which has come recently this year called LISA. It is also shown to be pretty powerful. But see, these techniques keep on coming, and all these research laboratories which are working on it, universities and so on. And so you'll see that they keep on coming up with new techniques for fine tuning, and that's very important because pre-training happens once, but fine tuning keeps on happening again and again. So everybody who uses a model tries to adapt the model to their purpose, like answering questions or summarization or whatever they want to do, and in their own domain, which may be like a pharmaceutical or healthcare or legal or whatever. And so they take a model, give their own data set, and see whether the model becomes better. And so these techniques are very valuable. As researchers and students, you can either discover a new method of fine tuning that probably is not a job for a small project, maybe for a PhD project, but you can certainly implement some of these techniques in your project and you study it and come up with the results that with fine tuning, your model is now performing better in a particular area than some other models which are available. So they can be excellent, you know, projects for final year and third year or something. So yeah, we move to the next trend, which is actually this is what we do a lot as a company. We are in the business of calling models, right? We don't create new models. We fine tune the models, but that is also not very common. but we do a lot of calling. So in our last lecture, you saw a lot of examples of how you can give prompts and you can get answers. So those systems like Perplexity or many other examples you saw, basically they have created software which is good at calling language models or image models or whatever. Okay, so there are three techniques of calling models. Okay, the first is called conversation. Okay, which is what you do when you talk to ChatGPT or Gemini. Okay, you are a user and there is a UI interface. You give your prompt, it goes to the model, and model replies. Okay, this is called a conversation. It's one to one. The second type is called chain. Okay, so you must have heard about the system, the library called LangChain. It helps you to implement chains of inference. So in chain, what happens is that there is a prompt that you have given, but it directly doesn't go to the model. Okay, something else happens on the way. Okay, and then something, the outcome of that goes to the model. Then when a reply comes from the model, somebody processes it and gives to you. So these are called chains, right? And one of the very popular chain that is used widely in the industry is called RAG. RAG, the full form is Retrieval Augmented Generation. Basically, a good example is when you ask questions on a document. Now you just saw how you uploaded a research paper and you asked something on it, right? So this is RAG. So how different it is from conversation is that when you ask a question, first of all, in the document that you uploaded, the relevant part is identified. Okay, here is a relevant page on which the answer is found. Then that particular material on the page, along with your prompt, is sent to the model. Okay, so you retrieve from the document, augment your prompt with that material, and then you send it for generation. Hence the name, the retrieval augmented generation. Okay. Now, how to retrieve, how to augment is a big area, and a large number of techniques are there and keep getting invented every day. Okay. One of the very active areas of research in RAG is how to use a graph database. Knowledge graph is something that has become very popular in the last few years, and uh, basically the technique is that you store a lot of information in the graph. So when the user asks a query, you first of all from the graph find out what the user wants and what are the relevant sources and so on, and then bring the LLM in. Okay, so very interesting area. I quote one paper here, okay, about graph retrieval augmented generation. I'm sure you will find this interesting. Okay, similarly, another interesting technique is RAFT, which is retrieval augmented fine tuning. I don't go into details, but this is a technique which brings together those two things that we spoke about: retrieval augmentation and fine tuning. This is a technique that brings them together. Okay, so I want to leave some time for question answer. So I'm going a little bit quicker now. Okay, a big area, and you have heard of artificial general intelligence and super intelligence. A path to that currently seems to be going through what is called as LLM agents. Okay, they are also called agentic workflows. So the difference, I'll tell you quickly, the difference between chains and agents. In chains, there is a sequence of operations. The prompt comes in, and then something happens, then something happens, then there is LLM, again something happens. So there is a chain of activities. But this chain of activity is decided by the developer. It is coded or it is configured, but it is pre-decided. So person, a human who decides that. When we talk about LLM agent, the chain is also designed by the LLM. Okay, so user only says, for example, I want to do a research on such and such topic, and you don't do anything else. Then LLM decides if you want to do research, what are the right things to do? What are the right sources? So those sources are first retrieved. They are maybe they are there on the internet or somewhere in your internal data storage. They are first brought. Then another next activity may be to decide which of those are more relevant to your question. Another activity. Then find create a scratch kind of points, raw points, give it to the user, ask the user whether they are relevant, come back, find more. So you can, as you can see, this is a cycle which can work. LLM agents have become already very popular in generating code. So you have systems like Devlin and AutoDev and so on, which are being used by people to go beyond a simple code generation. So you can say, I want to develop a website, you describe the website, and then that program goes about building the entire website. They are still pretty early stages yet. You may not be able to use those websites right now, but progress is happening very rapidly. People are talking about how agents can be used to build agents and so on. Okay, here I give a paper which is more like a survey paper. It's a starting point, and it is little slightly older, early 24, but then gives you references which you can pick it up. Okay, so we are getting into the last trend, which is not a trend really. It's more like a necessity. AI is a technology which touches a lot of spheres of society. Okay? And just as it brings a lot of benefits, it also brings a lot of concerns and worries. One worry which everybody has, like I saw in your questions, is that whether our jobs will be taken away. If there is a uh, the code is being generated, then what we are going to do. That's one aspect of how this is called stakeholder impact. So when you have a technology, how it is going to impact certain people in the society, those are called stakeholders. Then there are other issues like, if everybody uses, like for example, everybody now uses Google to find answers. Okay, what if Google starts playing some mischief? It starts promoting certain search results, as compared to something else, and that will have a big impact on the society, and that impact can be potentially bad, which means things like bias and discrimination can appear in the society. So when something becomes that popular and widely used, then we need to consider this aspect. So if everybody is going to use generative AI for something, then the questions such as model bias or discrimination, those come into the forefront of the thinkers in the society. So what how AI can generative AI can cause harm to the society, how it is going to impact us, how it is on the positive side, it is going to improve the economy, but on the negative side, it might impact some jobs or some such things. We need to do the impact assessment. Transparency. You should know how something happened. Like you are using some tool and you are asking a question and you are getting an answer, but you should know in the background what happened, what decisions the model took and why, and so on. Or responsible AI, where the entire life cycle of AI, of developing the models, deploying them, uh, in all these steps, people consider the parameters of being responsible to the society. So many such topics are there. I'm only mentioning them for as examples, and it's very nice free book that I want to I have read some part of it and published by the Alan Turing Institute. So those who are interested in these topics can probably begin here. Okay. So this is what we did today. We discussed how generative AI is more about using foundation models. Okay, we also saw what is happening to model size, how it is grew fast, and now, small models are in the vogue. Then we saw some interesting techniques like adaptive forgetting and so on to overcome limitations. On another a few more techniques, and in all these techniques I have actually pointed you to certain papers. I'm sure some of you will want to delve deeper into these techniques like quantization. They are very practical techniques like LoRa or Lisa. I don't know whether any of you will get into pre-training, but they are still there. RAG and agent is something where we can see a lot of participation from our audience today, because these are very very suitable for doing your projects, or maybe if you are participating in hackathons, then you can use these techniques there to solve the problem statements. And then we discuss very briefly about ethical considerations. So this is what where we are, and yeah, I would like to take questions now.
So, participants, if you have any questions, please do feel to answer to ask the questions up over here in the chat section. Sir, anything that you would like to add on, or
Yeah, so I have one question. It is about advice to students about what area they have to focus to get in the GenAI domain. So, see, my lecture was more about the future directions, right? But I'll talk about what you can do now if you are a beginner here. Okay, so I would say that you should start with prompt engineering, right? Because that is something that is easily accessible, and if you can be a good prompt engineer, then there are a lot of opportunities in the industry. So prompt engineering is one area where I'll point you. Another is you know uh, so quickly. I don't know whether how many of you are programmers, but I would highly recommend that you use Google Colab, or Kaggle also provides a free programming facility now. You use that and try your hands at some of these GenAI models. There are Colab notebooks which are ready-made available. You can simply open them and play with the code, see how the models are loaded, how they are prompted, and so on. That will give you a good comfort level with GenAI models. You can use not only language models, but you also play with image models and other audio and so on as well. Third thing to do is to learn about all the AI tools which are available. And my previous speaker actually gave a very good introduction, but those were more focused on the research and academics section. But there are multiple tools available for audio, for images, and having a very good orientation hands-on on those techniques will also help you. So these are the three things which come to my mind when you talk about a beginner in Gen AI. I hope that was useful.
Okay. So with this, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, man.
Thank you so much, sir, for the information and knowledge you have shared with us. The topics that you have covered about the future trends of generative AI and your real life examples were really helpful for understanding the concepts very well. So, again, thank you so much, sir. Once again,
My
it
pleasure.
gives me an immense pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks to all the dignitaries gathered together for this event. Firstly, I would like to thank our eminent speakers, Dr. Arnan Maipridit and Mr. Devesh sir, for conducting informative session and also for illuminating our participants with your knowledge, ideas, and experiences. We are very thankful to both the experts and the participants for their insightful contributions. Now, I would like to thank everyone involved in making this event a huge success. A successful event has many hands to hold. I would like to thank our CEO, Dr. Malak Harkar ma'am, Principal, Dr. Pratibha Gaikwad ma'am, Coordinator of Technology and Innovation, Dr. Patkar-Varde ma'am, for hosting us and giving us the opportunity to conduct the event. I would also like to thank our BSc and MSc CS in charge coordinators, Mr. Arvind sir, for their guidance and encouragement. I thank all the faculty members at the Department of Information Technology and Computer Science involved in making this event a huge success. A special thanks to Mayur sir and his team for the technical assistance that was being provided. Last but not the least, thank you to all the participants for enthusiastically participating in the program. We look forward to continued association for years to come. Before concluding the event, I would like to give you few instructions to all the participants. The feedback link will be posted in the chat box, so please do give your valuable feedback. E-certificates will be sent to your respective email IDs within 4 to 5 working days. With this, I conclude the RUSA sponsored international webinar, Research in IT AI Unleashed, exploring the frontier of generative technology. Thank you once again. Have a great day, stay connected, and keep learning.